Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, if Shannon Sharpe or has Shannon Sharpe and Wright finally given up on him? So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you sign up to Dreamerspro Max to talk about basketball and chat live during games. And also make sure you go ahead and click the join button to become a member of the channel. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So yesterday was one of the most action-packed days in sports, at least for people that follow the NBA. It was a frantic day because we finally got the conclusion to the NBA season, the one that we've all been waiting for. Going into this season, a lot of us had different predictions, and yesterday we finally got to see who what was what. I have to say though that John Sally did say that he predicted that the Clippers and the Milwaukee Bucks were going to be in the NBA Finals. I don't remember who he picked to win it all, but those are the two teams that he picked. Now, obviously, a lot of the top teams were missing their best players due to injury. It was something actually quite freakish that a lot of players really got injured this year, and it was quite strange, right? A lot of players, a lot of great top-tier players were missing in action due to injury. So it was a little bit anticlimactic for some NBA fans this season, given the fact that they missed out on seeing some of their favorite players in the playoffs really contending for the NBA title. But nevertheless, we had to, we still had Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Paul, Chris Middleton, Devin Booker, and these guys to kind of take us home and kind of bring the NBA season to a conclusion. So we saw the Game 6. I think the majority of us watching this video saw Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns, right? And we got to witness, at least in my opinion, one of the greatest single game performances in NBA playoff history, especially in the NBA Finals. Giannis Antetokounmpo delivered an all-time performance, right? A performance that we will never forget. This guy went out there and scored 50 points, making 17 out of his 19 free throws that he attempted, shooting 89.5% from the free throw line, given the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo was averaging about 58.7% from the free throw line these playoffs. This guy goes out there and hits virtually 90% of his free throws in that Game 6. He gets you 12 plus rebounds and 5 blocks. He was absolutely, he was everywhere. And at a certain point, I was rooting for him to get to 50. When he got to 41, 42 points, I was like, come on, man, you got to get to 50. You got to get to 50, right? I think at a certain point in that game, everyone was rooting for Giannis to come through and win that game. I think a lot of people were happier to see the Milwaukee Bucks win this championship over certain teams. From a lot of the comments that I read, a lot of people felt like the Phoenix Suns were not humble. They felt that they were very, very arrogant. I think they felt like the Phoenix Suns were being too confident, given the fact that they played a lot of teams that were missing some of their best players, but they were acting like as if they beat those teams when they were full strength. But remember, they played the Lakers in round 1. They were missing Anthony Davis, who was not healthy. Yeah, LeBron James, who was a bit hobbled. Then they get to the second round against the Denver Nuggets, and they were missing Jamal Murray. The Denver Nuggets got swept, and I think Nikola Jokic got thrown out of one of those games. No way the Denver Nuggets get swept in this series if Jamal Murray's healthy and is playing in that series. There's just no way. Then they get to the third round where they're playing against the Clippers, who are missing their best player in Kawhi Leonard, right? Their best player, and that series still went 6 games without their best player, right? But the Phoenix Suns were still walking around acting like as if they deserved to be in the championship, right? So they were very, very arrogant, and I can understand why a lot of people were happy to see them lose. Now, after the Milwaukee Bucks won the title yesterday, and Giannis was, having his victory lap, I heard I tuned into Undisputed, and I heard Shannon Sharpe say something that I would have never expected him to say. So before I go too far, I want you guys to take a listen to a compilation of what Shannon Sharpe and Wright had to say about Giannis Antetokounmpo after his Game 6 performance in the NBA Finals. Take a listen to what they had to say.
What is the biggest reason the Bucks won Game 6?
Giannis. Skip, I'm about to say something I hadn't said in 5 years. Of the 450 current NBA players, I just watched the best NBA player last night. I watched him play one of the greatest finals game in NBA history.
Wait a second. What about GOAT James?
Giannis is it.
It's over?
Giannis is it.
Giannis is the best? Really? What about that guy who's about to lead our Olympic team to gold?
He beat him.
Oh.
He beat him to get to where he got to.
Oh, because that guy's 1/10 of his inch of his toe was on the line?
This is what you told me.
All right.
You told me that if a guy goes to a guy's house and beat him, he is said the best player. That's what Giannis did. Skip, Giannis last night. You and I both, what is the stat line? I say he'll give you 32, 14, and 6. And I tweeted earlier, I say, in order for them to force a game, the Suns to force a game 7, they're probably going to have to withstand a 45 or a 50 piece from Giannis.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Monty had it in his head that DeAndre Ayton could take Giannis one-on-one.
If you don't have, an agenda, if you're looking at this neutrally, as I always try to do, even though I'm constantly accused of having an agenda, Giannis has checked every box. Giannis gets the title. I don't know. I do too, because I'm just a fair and honest arbiter of sports truths. And if you are not willing, this is the generic you, if one is not willing to call Giannis the best player on the planet right now, when his last 3 years are MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and then Finals MVP, one of the most statistically dominating finals we've ever seen, and 50 points in a closeout game, which was his third 40-plus point performance of the series. If that's not enough to call this 26-year-old super freak the best player in basketball, then what that means is you decided he's ineligible for it. That for one reason or another, you decided he does not deserve to join.
Now, in that first soundbite, you hear Shannon Sharpe say, Skip, I'm going to admit something that I haven't said in the last 5 years or so, that Giannis Antetokounmpo has now become the best player in the NBA. Let me tell you something. I never thought I would hear Shannon Sharpe say that, especially for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I thought he would have probably said that for Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant or probably Stephen Curry, but Giannis, I never heard that because he wasn't so high on Giannis Antetokounmpo all season long, and especially in the playoffs. I think at one point he said, and I agreed with him, that the Milwaukee Bucks at times could play some dumb basketball. So I was just really, really surprised to hear him come out there and say that now he believes that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the world, and he gave the reason why, because of the performance that he put forward. And as I said in the beginning of this video, that it was one of the greatest single game performances you ever witnessed in an NBA final. So if that's the reason, it has a lot of merits, because that was an incredible, incredible performance. Then Nick Wright came out and said that he believes that now Giannis is the face of the NBA. Right? He believes that he's the face of the NBA, and he recently did a very stupid NBA ranking where he has Giannis Antetokounmpo ranked as the top player in the NBA, and he has Kawhi Leonard ranked as the number 11th best player. He's not even in the top 10 due to injuries, due to the fact that it was injury pads, given the fact, but forgetting that 5 players that he does have in his top 10, including LeBron James, have missed just as many games or more. LeBron missed more games than Kawhi Leonard, yet and still LeBron ended up being in the top 3 players in the NBA, and Kawhi Leonard gets ranked in the top as the 11th best player. But then again, this is Nick Wright, and he says a lot of stupid stuff when it comes to basketball, and this is just another example of him saying something stupid. So I guess I can't be surprised, right? But I guess for the people that love Nick Wright and think that he's smart, this is your boy, right? This is the guy that told you that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. So this is your boy. Now, my question is this. I have a few questions. Are they being prisoners of the moment? That's the first question, right? And the reason I ask this question is this. Would they have said this if LeBron James and the Lakers made it to the NBA Finals? That's my first question, right? Or are they just saying this because Giannis Antetokounmpo won the NBA title? And finally, my last question is this. Will they still continue to say this next season? What if LeBron comes back and he starts having a great year, or another player starts having a great year? Are they then going to say that that person is the best player in the world, or are they still going to what's the word? Are they still going to remain in the same position that they are right now and take the same position that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the world? right? These are some questions I have to ask because I know how much of a staunch supporter Shannon Sharpe has been for LeBron James all throughout his career. So for him to come out and say this, especially and give the title to Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's very surprising, right? So I just wonder, is he going to have that same energy next year? Because I've heard many a times where LeBron has gone to the finals and lost, and Shannon Sharpe has said, listen, LeBron can't be the best player in the greatest player of all time. And in the very next season, whatever team he's on will pull off a trade, or he will have a stretch of some great games, and he'll be like, this to go. So I don't know, right? I don't know, but I think these are some legitimate questions. So what I want to know from you guys is, first of all, what do you think about these comments? What do you think about Shannon Sharpe's comments? Do you think that he's being genuine, or do you think he's just being a prisoner of the moment? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.